Embark on the JoJo journey, where laughter meets life, adventure unfolds, and the essence of who you are comes alive. I'm Javon Baker, and you're watching JoJo Talk. So we're gonna switch it up completely today. I do have a certain topic I want to talk about, but I'm also excited to try some new things. So currently, I have a new light that I would like to turn on and try. Yeah. The color is coloring, like the light is popping. Whether it's too much or not, we are going to see. But I'm really excited to have this stage light. The other thing we have is a microphone. So I already tested it. There is an audio difference about it. And so I'm just excited to plug it in and y'all hear the difference. Okay. So I'm sorry if it made that noise. I can't hear it until I watch the video, and then I know it makes the noise. So regardless, you will hear an audio difference, and I'm really excited about that. Today's subject is about being overwhelmed and still living your best life while being overwhelmed and turning it into productivity instead of something that feels like a heavy weight on your shoulder. If you have anxiety attacks, if you have panic attacks, a lot of it can come from stress. And I am very much experienced with doing a lot of different things at the same time, which is technically multitasking, but sometimes it's more like manic energy. And so there are certain things that you can do to calm yourself and make it to where you're not all over the place. Speaking from personal experience, I have not mastered how to not be overwhelmed, but I've managed to control it with certain key details in my life. So today's episode of JoJo Talk, overwhelm and overcoming. What are some of the things I find that overwhelm me? It might overwhelm you as well. My job.
Oh my God!
I wouldn't say it's the number one thing that overwhelmed me, but I'm not going to say it's also number two or the last thing that overwhelms me. It's just right there. And it's overwhelming because when you get there, you have to work. That's what you're being paid to do, is put in a certain amount of effort, a certain amount of energy when you're being thrown at situations. And it's your job as a chaos coordinator to put out those fires that happen in any job. If you are in some role where you're in leadership, or even if you're not and you're just a part of the crew, there's going to be situations that are thrown your way that's unexpected or feels like, why is everybody relying on me? I have to get this done. I'm doing 1,000 things at once. When it's your job, the best advice I can give you for being overwhelmed at work is just take a deep breath. That goes for a lot of other things that we're going to talk about, but specifically right now, the key to being overwhelmed at work is taking a deep breath and remembering you can't do it all. And everything's not going to get done in one day, and to give yourself grace and to communicate maybe with the higher ups that, hey, I got this, and this to do. Just letting you know that prioritize. What do you need done today? What can wait till tomorrow? What needs to be done before lunch? Just that, keep that line of communication open. I think this is also going to be my example for being overwhelmed in a relationship. So this is what I do when I'm overwhelmed in a relationship, and why sometimes my relationship is overwhelming. Being overwhelmed in a relationship can look like one or two things. You can be overwhelmed with love and desire and lust, or you can be overwhelmed with frustration, annoyance, irritation. You just have to take the good with the bad when you're in a relationship. With your partner, communication is key, just like at work. Active listening is what I've experienced in my relationship. There's a difference between just listening to say you're listening and just to be engaged and not really care or pay attention, or there's the concentration it takes to actually be involved in a genuine conversation. I know at work we have a saying called pineapples. Pineapples is basically when, hey, I am focused on this one thing and this one thing only. I'm not trying to be rude, but at this moment, this is very important. This is very serious. And when that happens, you still need to acknowledge the person so that they know you're not just ignoring them, okay? But back to being overwhelmed in a relationship. When there's certain lacks of communication and you have certain expectations for your partner, you're overwhelmed if you're disappointed by them. You feel that they're not being considerate, when you have to compromise, when they say, oh, you have to give 50-50. No, you got to bring 100% of yourself to the table. That's what I believe. Like, because on the days when I'm at a 20, I need you to be able to be at a 70. And if you only got 50%, that day, maybe we don't need to talk, because those are going to be the days that you're butting heads. When you're in a relationship, and I have no relationship advice, y'all. This is just me explaining how, when I'm overwhelmed, I like to sometimes text, because I can see the conversation. Even though texting can be confusing and misunderstanding, I just mean that when we're at odds, or we're feeling like, okay, I can't really understand what you're trying to say, sometimes it's easier to read it, digest it, understand it, take a moment, and then reply to your partner. So that's just what I do to overcome being overwhelmed in my personal relationship. Now, when you're overwhelmed in church, that's a whole different thing, outside of work, outside of your relationship. That's something that shouldn't happen often, because if you are involved with church for the right reason, when you are focused on the Lord and prayer and focus in your walk with God, then you shouldn't be overwhelmed. However, we all know what church hurt is. We all know that there are people that be peopling, and life be lifing, and situations are just out of your control, and you're on this committee, and you're involved in this board, and you are trying to do this choir rehearsal, or you're trying to please such and such. If your main goal is God, then you won't be overwhelmed at church. It will be a walk with faith, and you'll communicate in your prayer for situations to where you know there's an escape. So if you're having like panic attacks and anxiety attacks, they can be triggered by stress. So you have to.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Another thing I will recommend for being overwhelmed is laughter. So after my last take, I went and watched TikTok. I had to stop myself so I don't go down a rabbit hole and I don't get this done, but it just made me laugh, and laughing gets me out my head and makes me more comfortable, so I don't make that face like I'm constipated. That's something I've been told when I'm focused, when I'm very much tuned in. But laughing feels good. It doesn't cost a thing to smile. You can make somebody's day by telling a cheesy dad joke. There's just so many things about life when it's lifing, when it's feeling that weight on your shoulder and that pressure, that you can find an escape. Whether you travel and you look forward to that vacation, like me, the 30th is coming up. I'm ready to just be in that place of growth and maturity, and the new chapter I'm waiting for and expecting, and I have all these things. Anyway, I digress. You can travel. Certain people take baths to relax when they're feeling overwhelmed. Drinking a glass of wine when you're feeling overwhelmed. Not to just indulge yourself and to drown yourself in that. There's a thing called moderation. Doing things in moderation. So you may go for a walk. You may listen to music. What's some other things you can do? Those are all the things I do. So whatever your thing is to help you when you're overwhelmed, remember it, concentrate on it, do it. Remember, tomorrow is a brand new day and a brighter day, and all the things of yesterday are in the past. You can't repeat it. You don't get it back. Time is money. And if you're spending too much time concentrating on the things you did wrong and feeling like overwhelmed and stressed, stress kills, y'all. And I'm not trying to go anywhere anytime soon. So when I feel worked up, I have no problem with therapy. I have no problem with talking to someone and discussing what we call couch time with someone, or being prescribed something. That is, I don't know what the proper word is right now, but it's looked down on when someone says, okay, well, I take medicine. Whether it's for ADHD, anxiety, whatever, that's your business. That's between you and your doctor. But if that's something you need for your mental health, when you are feeling a lot of anxiousness and pressure and you can't focus, talk to your doctor about those things, because Just suppressing it is going to build up to an explosion. Trust me. I speak from experience, not just off the top of my head. I speak from life be life in. I don't care at any age. When you experience things that mature you really fast, then you have something to say. That's why I believe that everybody has a story to tell. Your story, your purpose, your journey has power. And that is why I always say, let's talk about it. Because when you talk to somebody else, you feel relieved. When you vent to someone and you just want them, hey, I'm just venting. I don't want no advice. I have no expectations from this conversation. I just want to get it out. Those things really matter and they really help. So if you need someone to talk to, pick up the phone, call a friend, call God. There's therapists that are free, online worship, whatever you do to help. I say it makes a better, healthier life. It makes life worth living. Thanks for watching JoJo Talk. And remember, not my monkey, not my circus. If you take on the responsibilities of somebody else's monkey in a circus, you are bound to be overwhelmed. You are asking for the pressures of the world to come down on you if you're over here in they business and they business. Mind the business that pays you, period. We know this. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Not my monkey, not my circus. Life's already a circus. Not every monkey is your responsibility. Thanks for watching.